From the snowy slopes of Sweden to the valiant valleys of Scotland, we bring you the Volvo EX30. And not just any EX30, this is the Cross Country model. If you're an adventurer and you're looking for a car to match your love of the outdoors, maybe this is the car for you. But the big question still remains, does the Volvo EX30 Cross Country live up to its name? So what have Volvo changed? Well, the car is some 19 odd millimetres taller, it's 10 millimetres wider, yet it keeps the same wheelbase and length as the original EX30. This gives you that little bit extra ground clearance. If you go off-road, you're not going to get stuck on a slope. But in a weird twist of events, the headroom inside the car has got a little bit smaller. Volvo have given you all the same toys as you get on both models, but we'll cover that later on. The biggest difference is in the body kit. The matte black cross-country design is most prevalent in the actual grille as you look at it there. You can see some sort of coordinates, topography and swirls. And these are a reference to Sweden's highest peak. I'm not going to embarrass myself by even trying to name that. Below that we've got a bar which goes out to either side with air vents to make this EV more aerodynamically efficient. Now, who's into Norse mythology? You are? Well, you may look at these headlights and think, wow, they look like Mjolnir, the god of thunder's hammer, because that's what they are. That's what they're called. A word that you may hear me use a lot today is rugged, and there's no better way to describe these 19-inch alloy wheels. They look almost indestructible, and they also help give the car that little bit of ground clearance. The matte black theme continues. You can see it along the bottom from the front. It makes its way all the way towards the back here. And this is where the matte black circle is complete, and we've got Cross Country stamped into the side of the Volvo. Speaking of Volvo, they've got their name on a black bar sitting very proudly across the boot of the car. Now, isn't it mad that the lights in the front look a little bit like Thor's hammer, and the lights in the back look like they've come straight out of Blade Runner? I also like how they climb the glass, and to top it off, we've got a sporty spoiler up here. Now, inside the actual boot, you have 318 litres of boot space. If you put the seats flat, you get 1,000 litres to play with. Then there's an extra 61 litres underneath the actual boot floor. And wait for it, if that's not enough for you, 7 litres in the front for the front storage compartment. You can't argue with that. But if you do, the Cross Country comes with a whole plethora of attachments that can increase your load capacity.
Volvo doesn't want you worrying about not being able to bring that extra suitcase either. So, despite its size, the EX30 Cross Country can tow up to 1,600 kilograms thanks to its impressive 543 Newton meters of torque.
This is an electric car, and it would be strange of me not to mention how well the battery handles the rugged lifestyle that this Cross Country was designed for, such as the larger wheels and tyres and the extra weight of all the luggage needed for your outdoor adventures. Now, unlike the regular EX30, which comes in a whole different range of powertrains, the Cross Country is exclusively dual motor, one in the front and one in the rear, harnessed to a 69 kilowatt-hour battery for instant torque in all-wheel drive. The return is 29.5 kilowatt-hours per 100 miles, or a range of 271. Yet Volvo claim if you drive this car in the city alone, you will get an extra 100 miles. Now, all-wheel drive comes as standard in this car, and that shows Volvo's determination to prove this is a car built for adventure. However, you can flick it to rear-wheel drive only, which helps you for efficiency. But if you need it, all-wheel drive will always be there for that stability if the road conditions do change. You can also just keep it in all-wheel drive. Shift-by-wire, single-speed transmission. That's what Volvo have opted for. Have you heard of that? Probably not. What it means is there's no mechanical linkage to the transmission. It's all done electronically, very similar to how brake-by-wire works. The question is, how does that affect performance?
It's all positives here. 0 to 62 in 3.7 seconds. 112 miles per hour max speed. Max engine power is 428 horsepower, and the battery can output 315 kilowatts, which is mad.
Remember, this car is designed for country roads. Lucky that, considering its name. But I'm not sure why they've made it so quick, 0 to 62 in 3.7 seconds. It's unreal, but you won't find me complaining. With the 19-inch alloy wheels and the all-wheel drive system, it really is rewarding and it gives you a huge amount of confidence when you're driving the car. Into a corner, you know you're going to get through and out nice and safely. Even though the car has a huge amount of acceleration, it won't have you in a ditch. I've spoke about the acceleration and how quick this car can actually go. But the other side of that, flip the coin, you've got to be able to stop it. And especially if you are going off-road, maybe in slippery conditions, or just driving on a road like we are doing just now, you need to have good brakes. Everybody bracing themselves. Yeah, pretty nimble. That wants to stop on its nose. Good feeling through the brake pedal. And yeah, super responsive. Once more. Tick. Now, visibility is a huge thing for me when we're driving, and if you've watched any of the reviews before, you'll know that I like to be high up because it puts me over the traffic. But also, in the EX30 Cross Country, it helps you when you go off-road. You know, you've got panoramic sunroof and you've also got cameras absolutely everywhere, so you're not going to be crashing into any low-hanging branches or rocks by the side of you. But visibility in this car is really good. It's one of the strong points. I am on what can only be described as one of the worst roads in Scotland. It's covered in mud, it's got potholes and there's rocks everywhere. So if the EX30 Cross Country can handle this, then I'm pretty sure it can handle absolutely anything. And so far it's nice actually. You can move it between each pothole and miss the rocks out. It's very nimble. But when you do go through a pothole, it's got suspension that kind of soaks up the bumps. Not bad at all. Ooh, apart from that one. So we've just arrived at Arnold Clark's AC charge, and while we wait the 26 minutes for this car to go from 20 to 80%, I thought it was a good time to jump in the front and tell you a little bit about the cockpit and what we have, because there's a pretty minimalist feel going on here. Streamlined is another word that you might like to use, especially for this dashboard. But it's got a comfy seat like the steering wheel, and there's no driving cluster. No, it's all housed in this tablet. At the top, your driving details. I've got Apple CarPlay wirelessly connected, and at the bottom, your heater functions, nice and easy. Follow that down, you've got a couple of wireless charging mats here with some low-level storage below that. Then this is a seriously cool thing. You've got a retractable drinks holder which pops out from underneath the centre console. I think that is so cool. Big door bins, which are lined so nothing will rattle about in there. And then you've got a sound bar that goes all the way across the front of the dashboard, which gives you a proper immersive sound. Into the back, well, first of all, this car has got 4 USB-C chargers, 2 tucked away in the front and 2 at the back there. You've also got your little controls for your windows on the side. And remember I said that the headroom was slightly compromised in this car? Well, it's actually not too bad. They could have maybe taken a bit of that headroom and helped me out a little bit with my legs. But it's comfortable in here. The same seats in the front find their way in towards the back, and there's not a lot you can actually moan about in here. It's comfortable, everything you would expect is in the back.
So remember, if you want to get up close and personal with the EX30 Cross Country, why not head to your local Arnold Clark, where we have over 20,000 new and used cars for you to look at. Because remember, at Arnold Clark, we make it easy.
This compact, speedy, electric EX30 Cross Country really is built for the wilderness. Now, whether that's the snowy mountains of Scotland or the dusty dunes of Namibia, Volvo know exactly what the adventure needs and requires. Add in the Scandinavian proficiency and you get a fun, practical car. But does it live up to its name? Well, with 271 miles of range, it's good, but it's not exactly class-topping. But I challenge you to find a better built car for an adventure, because let's face it, in the UK, you're never far away from an expedition. My name's Duncan Vincent. This is the Arnold Clark YouTube channel. Make sure you like and subscribe and hit that bell icon so you never miss an upload from us. And until next time, safe driving.